Hey and welcome. I'm Birta, and today I just want to sit down and chill and edit some photos and just be with the people, be with you guys. Because I know some of you might be interested in how I edit my photos, and today I'm gonna show you on. I'm gonna show you this on some of the photos I shot last week. Was it last week? I posted it last week at least. During the longest days in Iceland, shortest nights, and I did 5 different setups, and I have a lot of I have a lot of photos from that shoot that I have yet to edit because I want to do it here with you. So let me open this up. Let's see. I hope everyone's doing a-okay today. I'm doing just fine. Let's see if we can see me too. Hello, here I am. Okay, so I have this photo. Let's just start by going through the photos and see if you prefer me to start with something or not. Otherwise, I'll just choose for myself. So I have this photo. And then I had this one with, I want to use the sun since it was out. So I have a couple of these shots. Here, obviously, I would like to take out these goals, these soccer football goals, and maybe my tripod. This one is here with the water, with the fountain thing. Might be a little bit difficult to edit to get it looking nice, but we'll see. Then I chose this one because I kind of like it, and this one as I'll have to fix my lash glue here. This one was, I think this location, like this yellow bush, was the location I was most excited for. But when we got there was just something like I didn't feel like my look was working, and just the photos weren't working, and I just kind of felt really strange. I had also been like, this is shot very, very, very late in the evening. I think this was around 1:30 a.m. And I was getting kind of tired. So I think I prefer this photo, but obviously I have a lot of flyaways because I was laying in the bushes, standing up and laying down again. So a lot of work to do here. This one was okay. I tend to get these pouty things here under my lips, which is, I don't know, I kind of hate it. I used to, when I was younger, I really wanted to get, I think they're called snake bites, the piercings that you can get here, but I had braces on my upper teeth, so that would have not really been nice to have braces, and I don't know, I would be like a metal face. But I kind of like, I dig this look. This red dress belonged to my mom, and I remember seeing this red wall and I was like, oh, I really want to do something with this. So I think this kind of goes together. My hands are very purpley blue here though, so we'll have to fix that. And also I think this is also nice. This was the last shoot of the day. I had no idea what look I want to go for, but I knew I want to use this hair, and it is a lot, and it's kind of difficult to edit because it's so neon colored. So I just kind of went all out when, um, because someone, like, all of them are a little bit edited with the color and everything, and I just want to do like the Photoshop aspect of my editing and not the Lightroom editing. We might go into that later if you're interested. So this is just a photo that I kind of like. I don't mind that it's kind of blurry and moving. I actually think I prefer it this time around. And here, as you can see, the hair photographed more reddish, which I don't hate it. I like it. I kind of like it. I kind of dig this, and I like that it's kind of dark and mysteriously cool. I don't know. And then it's this one. So we have a lot of photos to choose from. So let me know if you have any preferences. And if not, I think I'll just look at the beginning and the end. So this is the end photo that I shot for the night, and this is how we started. Like, it's totally different. So I think because I don't want to be here maybe all night, but I think we should choose maybe 3 or 4, and we can like go through that super quick. So let's maybe, hi. So I'll have to fix the lace, fix the eyebrows here, fix this. Let's just start with this photo. I think it's, I mean, you can really spend a lot of time when you're editing with, like when you're doing close-ups, because you can definitely get lost in all the details of the skin and everything. I'm just gonna check real quick if you guys can hear me. Yep. Yeah, you definitely can hear me. I haven't streamed for a while, so I really want to make sure everything was working properly. So yeah, what I think I might do to start this one out is to just change the color of the eyebrows. I think we'll do eyebrows, lace, then move to do the skin and stuff. Wait, no, one step first. So what I do that might be controversial a thing that I do that might be controversial to someone is that I do use Liquify, not in the sense that I use it with when I'm doing the Photoshop adventures, because obviously that's taking it to the next level. But when I'm editing, especially when it's photos of me, because I tend to not do it when I'm editing portraits of people unless they really ask me to do it. I tend not to edit people's features. But when I'm editing my own damn self, I use these face shaping things here. You can see them because they are kind of magic. I'll show you what they can do. So if we do it if we do it super extreme, so this is if you want to take it all the way down, but obviously like if we do it like that, you can see there are some stripes here so it's more about like just altering everything a little bit and not overdoing it. So I tend to take my chin up ever so slightly, just like that. And what I do, if you look at my Instagram, you can see my photos edited, and if you swipe, you can see them before any alterations. So I want to be super open, super honest about the way I edit my photos, and that's why I really want to do this right now. I don't know, maybe someone, like, maybe you don't care and this is just a part of what we do now, but I want to be open and honest about all of that. So this is something that I might lean towards, and this is just ever so slightly, but it does change a lot in the photo, I think. And what I think I might do as well is to just make my neck, take it in just a little bit, like so. Cool. So now that we have this, so this is the before and after these alterations. And now let's get these eyebrows correctly shaded. So as you can see, my makeup is a little bit greener, a little bit more green than the actual. This wig is green, but I'm guessing it was just the way it reflected the sky, because the sky was completely blue when we were doing this, when we were shooting this. So sometimes it reflects more, especially with wigs, because they are like, this is not natural hair, this is all synthetic, so you can't really know perfectly how they reflect the light that's around you, because they are synthetic. Or I mean, maybe this is just something I didn't notice in the editing after, like when I was editing the photos, the color, blah, the contrast and stuff. But I mean, I can fix it, no problem. Oh no. Okay, so let's not do it like this. Let's have it on a separate layer. That was a dumb move on my part. And feel free to join in the chat. Feel free to like this stream, because it's helps me a lot. I appreciate you being here, chilling. If you don't want to talk, then you don't have to talk, but I would love the, what's it called? I would love the company of you. So let's see what's the best. Jesus, why is it not doing what I want? So now you can definitely see what I'm doing. We can have it, I think I'll use soft light. We'll take it down ever so slightly. So I think this should be around what I like. We can also take it and use hue and saturation to kind of match it even better. So yeah, I think this is better. And then we will mask it. I'm just taking anything that goes outside of my eyebrows and kind of cleaning it up. So the difference this does is a whole lot. And what I really like about the soft light, the blend mode of soft light, is that it doesn't really color the skin around it too much. Like you can see here, if I turn it off, it's still like ever so slightly, but it doesn't make everything super saturated blue, if that makes sense. So, and here I have weird eyebrows. Oh, this is this one. So I'm just gonna take this down here. I'm gonna clean up the rest of my eyebrows just like this. And usually when I'm editing, I take a long time to do it. So I'm kind of just fast tracking through all of these. So don't judge me on the perfection of these, because I kind of want to just chill, go through a couple of them with you, and then I might go over them again later before I post them, but I highly doubt it. Like sometimes I just want to do rough editing, keep it not too perfect, and I just go with it like that. But when I'm editing for clients, obviously I want to do a good job. So this is mainly for my own thing that I kind of tend to rush through it, especially when I shoot a lot of photos like I did for this one. And I noticed way too late that my eyelashes are super damn wonky. So what I would recommend to anyone that's doing photography or even just in filmmaking, if you can fix it on set, if it's something like costumes or hair or makeup, if you can fix it on location, do it, because it can save you such a long time in editing. Like, let's say you have 30 photos and something is wrong with the hair in all of these 30 photos, and let's say it's something you could have fixed, like it would have taken 3 minutes max to fix it on set. It adds maybe an hour to each photo if it's something super difficult to fix. So that's 30 hours of extra work with something that you could have fixed in 3 minutes. So that's definitely my pro tip to anyone, to try and don't never ever say fix it in post unless it's a VFX shot. You're not going to fix it in post. You better fix it on set, because it's gonna save you a lot of work and save you and I mean save you a lot of money as well, if that's what you do. I'm doing a super bad job at this. But let's see this here. Oh, this is so not nicely done, but kind of just trucking on, because I'm gonna add a little bit of eyeliner on top of this later as well. I hope everyone is having a great day. And if you're wondering, I am too. This is such a nice day, and I feel like now's the time I start talking about the weather. Because I don't really have any stories for right now. I'm just very excited to maybe travel, see Iceland a little bit more. I haven't traveled a lot that's not for work lately, so I'm very excited to go and do that. Let's fix my eye a little bit. I tend to I don't know why, I tend to like my photos with my eyes closed. I think there's just something serene and calm about it. Not saying that me with my eyes open is not not calm, but I don't know, it's just something nice about it. So what I want to do before I move into this thing here, the hairline, is to create. So this is going to be the low frequency, and this is going to be high frequency. So we're going to use a technique called frequency separation, and that's something I do like this. So you can see, this is probably super strange. So this is my eyes, and here you can see all the texture, and there's some color in there, but not a lot. So what I do is, and underneath we have a layer that's kind of blurry, and ooh, this is magic. This is such magic. So under here, if I start editing on this layer here, and I, let's say, start cleaning up my skin. That's because that's actually something I do a lot. It's just to clean up the skin. Even like I tend to leave out freckles and birthmarks unless people ask me to remove them. But anything temporary like pimples or anything, I tend to remove unless people ask me not to. Because usually when you get a photographer and you have a pimple or something that's not, like if it's not temporary or a part of your look, people tend to want to get that removed. But that's also just a dialogue that I try and keep open. Oop. So as you can see, there's also some texture in this. So you can actually, by turning on and off this part, you get the texture back in. So you can actually see this thing under here is a part of the blurred layer, or the, what's that? The low frequency layer. And you can actually remove them on here, and when you turn on the texture layer, you have just kind of the skin part, but it's not, because if I can't talk, because sometimes it's very obvious that photos have been removed when everything is just airbrushed, because we have texture in our skin, quite obviously. So if you want to edit photos, you want to leave in the texture, otherwise it's just very, very, very obvious that you have edited the photos and not done a great job at it either. So here I have had some separation in my makeup on my eyelid, and that can happen for various different reasons, but I can see it happened here. So what I did, and you can go over the textured layer to try and minimize it as well. And here you can let's take this vein here. Let's leave it not as pop-in. Oh. And this is just something you have to try out. It's just trial and error. See what you like, what look you prefer. Look at the different photos from different editors and photographers and stuff, and just try it yourself and see how all of this works. So we have taken out the vein, but there's still some purple left. So I'm gonna put in just a little bit of color on top of here, just to kind of blend in the makeup a little bit better as well. So we go back to soft, light. Why do I do this? Why? So this one, I dragged the wrong layer, if you're wondering what I did wrong. So soft light, it kind of brings more out the purpley tones though. So let's see what we can go to image and hue saturation again, and what kind of color. So I think it's kind of just somewhat here. It's just ever so slightly fixes it without doing like a lot. So this is before and after. And you can see just how everything is. Wait, let's do it like this. With the texture. So before and after, just a little bit smoother. I have some texture around my nose here. And oftentimes you can just fix it on, just fix it on this layer beneath here. This is super cool. Here we go. Just taking out these spots here. And you gotta remember, like, you don't want to flatten anything on the face. So if you're removing blemishes or making something, just make sure to zoom out and see if anything, like if it makes sense. So you can see there's kind of a line here that I'm just gonna, and then when we put the texture back in, like, this looks way better. And if you have any pores or stuff that you wanna minimize, like, don't go too far, but you can kind of blur them out a little bit that way. And so you can see how this is just ever so slightly making everything a little bit smoother here. And here you can see on this part, so this part is this part here, and there is some kind of a janky thing in the lipstick, so I'm gonna go ahead and just fix it kind of on here first. Let's just turn this up. Where was it? Here. And then we put this. Oh, okay, never mind. Oh, no. No. I done goofed. Okay. Let's get. So what I want is to do this. Now you can see this is kind of blurred here, and that's because the underneath part also has this kind of a boom, bump kind of thing. So we'll also fix it on this layer. And now this is a whole lot better. I want to make this slightly darker too, so I think I'll just do it on here. Actually, just drag it from underneath, and we'll have to see what it looks like. I mean, I think it works. Like, it's good enough if we want to move on and do some other photos, because this has taken half an hour already. So let's grab this. My feet. Kind of just want to soften this, smooth it out. And I'm not gonna go do I can't talk today. I'm not gonna go do each individual hair. Maybe if I didn't have, I mean, I don't really have a time constraint, but I do though at the same time, which is kind of strange. But I kind of want to just show you how to mix this in so it's not as obvious, and that's just by using frequency separation. And you can go in later and fix this. Well, I can go in and fix this later, but this is like, you can definitely tell this is way better. Just this part is way better. But what I would do is go and like try and minimize these spots, because like obviously your hair doesn't have that, but this is definitely less noticeable. So I think we'll save this. Usually the easiest way, at least for me, to see if photos are edited, you can see it on the necks, because people tend to focus on the face and like making everything flawless, especially if it's like a portrait, like from the breast up or whatever. So people tend to focus on the face, and you can usually see it like on the shoulders or the neck or the hands even, if photo has been like heavily edited in the face but nowhere else. So I think we're happy with this for now, and I'll go in and fix the wig a little bit before posting this. So the way I would crop this, I might go for a crop like this for Instagram, which is 4:5, or we can do, if we do it like this, I think I want to keep in a little bit of the shoulder, of the collarbone, and do something kind of sweet like this. So something nice to keep in mind when you're shooting is what medium you're shooting for, because sometimes like if we were doing a banner or something, like we might want to go for something like this, but obviously this photo would not really, I mean it could work, but I would say this is too much of a close-up for something like that. So maybe something like this would be better in a crop like that. So just keep in mind when you're shooting photos of yourself, is what you're going to use it for. If it's just going to be for Instagram, then still try and keep it, like either shoot it in portrait mode and you can just cut off the top and bottom of it, or keep in mind to shoot it, if you're shooting landscape, shoot it a little bit wide so you can actually crop into it. So something like that would probably be my 4:5 crop, and this would be my square. I actually want to keep the hand in, so this would probably be a square crop for me. What photo do we want to edit next? I think I'm kind of excited for this one. Do you have any preferences? I can scroll through them super quick, but I think otherwise, if you don't have any preferences, I might go with, I'll close this one. We're done here. Yeah, if nobody has any preferences, I'll go for this one. It's very cool. I usually start with this thing, the face shaping thing. And like I said, this is just, I know this can be controversial, and that's actually the reason why I post before and after of my photos, because I want to be open and honest about what it is I do. I usually tend to make my chin smaller because I feel like I have a round fat face sometimes. So although sometimes, like, it kind of depends on the angle as well. Sometimes I really like the photo and don't mess with any of that stuff. So I mean, depends on the photo. This is a photo I don't want to do too much with. I kind of like it being super saturated, but my eyebrows are kind of horrible. What was I thinking? Nothing. I'll tell you that. I was so tired when this was around 4 a.m. When the sun was coming back up. So if you haven't seen the video where I was shooting during the longest day in Iceland, I think I remember to link it below. So feel free to go from here and check it out. We'll have to fix this wonky ass eyelashes. Well, what's wrong with me? Why do I do this? Create a new layer, an empty layer. I never do this, and I've done this for every photo on this stream today. I think I'm just I don't know why. Some days, right? I feel like I'm having a great day though, so I don't know what's up. And in terms of like using Liquify or any type of shapers for either your face or your body, I think it's kind of you have to be careful. I mean, like I said, I do this with photos of myself, but you still gotta be careful, or at least mindful of what it is that you're doing, because it can also start to skew the way that you look at yourself through a filter. So you gotta be super mindful of what it is that you're doing when you're doing this. So I think these eyebrows, girl, you fixed them. A little bit at least. So I don't think I need frequency separation to fix this. We'll just clone it away. And when you're cloning, you just gotta be careful about duplicates, especially if you're cloning from some part that's close to the part that you're cloning, if that makes sense. Because yeah, you're going to wanna keep it hidden that you have done some editing, which is, I mean, it's still kind of messed up to keep these things hidden, but that's also like why I wanna focus on what it is that I have done and changed and stuff like that. So this is it. I changed the shape of the eyeliner ever so slightly as well, and I think I'm gonna change the tip of it here a little bit as well. Do it like whoop, because it kind of looks a little bit like my eye is slouching. Which would make sense, this being at 4 a.m. So I think I like my eyes more like this. So this is more of a proper winged liner. I want to add a little bit more blush to the nose. I'm gonna do that by using the brush on a new layer, not duplicate. This is probably way too much, but we can always tone it back a little bit. So let's add it to here as well, and let's do the soft light. Ooh, she has a cold. Yeah, this is totally way too much, but then we will just drag it down a little bit and then brush away what we don't need. Is this too much? Yeah, probably. It's a lot. It's not supposed to go underneath the nose. I was just kind of following some fashion trend that's not even a fashion trend anymore. So I think what's also bothering me a little bit is this texture on my nose. What you doing? So I think to remove this texture, I'm not gonna do the frequency separation thing because Well, I don't know why. Because usually I would just do that. So let's just do what I would normally do. So that's the low, that's the high. Let's get it blurry. So under the layer underneath, the low frequency is blurred, and the high frequency is like so. And we duplicate and we duplicate. And here you can see none of the texture is on here, but I kind of want to, you see there's a darker, darker spot here. So let's do this a little bit, and remove the texture from here. And we also have a little dimple here that I don't like, and now it's gone. There's also, like, you can see there's like straight, and there's kind of crush line here, and we can kind of just fade it into the skin again by doing a little bit of this. And just like that. My nose is a little bit crooked. I don't know if that's something, because it's something interesting with editing as well, is that the longer you kind of look at the image or the thing, is when you zoom back out, it's like, what was that there before? Like, did I just not see it, or did I make this? So your mind can actually get kind of squishy, and for some reason this part looks kind of purpley. It's probably a shadow, because as you can see, all the shadows here are more bluish purple. So I added ever so slightly peach tone that I just grabbed from here, and again we're using soft light to ever, like, can you see the difference in this? It's kind of like a little kiss of sun right here on the bridge of my nose. A little bit. It's still a little bit wonky to me, this part, so I might just kind of brighten this up also. Ooh, maybe not. Maybe this is weird. How are we feeling about this? I don't know. Oh, I don't know. I think it's better though. Yeah, let's just go with it. This shadow here and this shadow here, I kind of want to not have them as, but like I said, you don't want to have, because your eyes, they do have dimension, your nose has dimension, your lips, they do have dimension, because you're not just a flat piece of paper with things stuck to them or whatever. So you want to keep all, I can show you the difference. So what if I were to completely wipe the under eye and make it just one, like if I was like, oh, I don't want to have any bags or whatever the idea is. So that would mean taking this shadow away, and I'm gonna tell you right now, that's gonna look completely weird. So that's this part here, and now you can just see this photo is edited. Even when we add back in the dimensions, I overdid it a little bit. I went into the shadow here, but nevertheless you can still see, I mean, of course you can minimize this, but completely removing it is just kind of weird, at least in my opinion, and it's usually a dead give away that the photo is. Like, I think this is the most I could take away from underneath my eyes. And it's the same with like this part here. You can see, because I have highlight on top of here, it makes sense to it makes sense to have highlight and a darker place somewhere around, because highlight means this is the brightest point, and that means there has to be a curve somewhere to meet that brightest point. So you can probably do ever so slightly, like minimize it, but don't take it away completely, because that's just gonna be strange. There is, for some reason, a point here. I don't know if this is just my makeup being weird or if it's something else, but I kind of want to just minimize all these straight lines. So that was too much. So you can actually see it when you zoom out. That there's a part here that I wanna, and like I said, this is just something that comes with, I'm by no means an expert or anything of the sort at doing this, or at least I would not, I don't know, maybe I am, but I don't feel like I am that I am. I just know I have experience, but I would not say, I don't know what I'm saying. And now I feel like there's something weird a little bit about this. Like, maybe I've done too much, or maybe it's because of I have the shadow coming here super strongly, and this part is feeling a little bit bare. I don't know. So I wanna, maybe it's also a little bit blue. I usually just use soft light, if you haven't noticed. But this is also just the shape of my face, but I feel like this gives it at least a little bit of a oomph. Like, it warms it up ever so slightly. And maybe just add some on here as well. No, that was too much. I think I can do one more photo that's not crazy to edit. So let's save this. I wanna, this is annoying me. This is the part I don't love about my face, and that's this part here. Because if I don't know if you can see this. Can you see this? Yeah, it's my pouty spots. Don't like them. But hey, what can you do? Okay, so let's just brighten this up a little bit. Not too much, nothing too fancy. Nothing fancy. And do it like this, like this. This was yeah, I think so. And I like my eyes, at least for this photo, I like to keep them this dark. Sometimes it kind of depends on the photo. Sometimes it's nice to give them a little bit of a pop. We can see if it makes any sense for this, but I don't think it does, because this is so contrasted that it would just kind of look bonkers. It's not even doing anything really. Let's see. How do we feel about this? keep it dark. I think we can just, let's go with a little bit of it. No, it's too much. Ever so slightly. Let's save it here and jump in the next one. Let's let this finish saving. And now, okay, this is taking forever. So I think we should do a different setup. So it's either gonna be, let's do this because we have a little bit of body and I use liquify on my body too. And like I said, I realize this is an unpopular thing to do, but I do it. So what I would do, I feel like this wig makes my head look so big. So sometimes if you're gonna do something like this, you have to be super mindful about the background. So if you look here where I just did this, you can see, I mean, you can notice it, but you wouldn't really notice it. Do you know what I mean? Because the flowers are already have these this different texture like bouquet on them. You couldn't really tell. But I'm gonna show you an example on a different photo. Let's move on to this one. Let's see if I were to do it with this thing around the belt here. You'd have to be super careful because you have stripes of the dress going this way and you have stripes of the what is this? The plank going that way. So I think normally I would just skip it or you can actually just take a photo on the same, like especially if you're using a tripod like I was, you can just take a background photo that you can just do all the changes to, and then you'll add the background in correctly later because you have like a template, or not a template, but like what's it called, a plate. So I think this would be what I would do to this one. Maybe my upper arm here could take a little bit knocking in. I don't know what I'm saying. Ever so slightly, like so. Maybe something like this. I don't know. And then the face, like I feel like the hair here on this wig is way too big, but I don't feel like I can change it a lot because I would have to move it downwards. And let's see. So what you saw happening here is this went like down, like warped. So you can either, oh no, either go back and try and fix it, and maybe this is the most I don't want to spend a lot of time on like liquefying this, but like I said, if you know you're gonna do it, you gotta kind of think ahead if you want to keep it, like either keep a simple background, like if I wouldn't have any of these, I would just have this red wall. It would be way simpler, but way less interesting at the same time. So just keep in mind. So this is probably what I would do, at least now looking at it. And also with, it's the same thing goes for dresses. Like if you could, what I would have loved for me to do before I shot this, and that I'm just realizing now, is ironing out these crinkles here, because that can, again, save you a lot of time, and your time is money, babe. So it would save you, in the end, it will save you money. So I think I'll save this and we'll move back. Where's the photo? Into this one. I think I'm not gonna do anything more drastic than this, or maybe I will. I also feel like I have my my skin has a ever so slightly green tint to it, so I want to try and fix that ever so slightly. I feel like that's something I say a lot, but that's a-okay. Let's just have that as my phrase, ever so slightly. And did this make my hand look fat? Yup, a little bit. A little bit fat hand. That's okay. Is it though? I feel like I need to pluck this wig. It makes me look like a cone hat with it being so big. So let's try and get some of this green tint off of me. I would go here. We can let's just do hue saturation, and where would we? It's just, like I said, it's just ever so slightly. Can you see that? All the difference. And this is what, -5. This is just a little bit. Maybe minus 2. Is that better? -3. Let's do -3. You can see how we brought some magenta back into my skin, and it's not as green. I have a lot of stuff on my back, and I think I'll just use the healing brush tool to remove these spots. It's way too big though. Some of these spots on here. Some are spots, some are tattoos that I won't be removing. I remember when I was starting out, when because I was not the only kid in class that had, I can't remember the name of the editing software that I had, but my classmates used to ask me like, oh, can you edit the photo of me and show me how I would look like with brown hair or dark hair or whatever. And that's actually how I started photo editing, is just doing these weird layers, like basically adding soft light to hair and showing people what they would look like. And then someone came to me with like super dark hair, like, can you show me how I would look blonde? And I was like, I don't know how to do that, but I can figure it out. And I think I did with this shitty program that I had. It was a lot of fun. So I've been doing this for a hot minute now. Well, not this, but editing in kind of in general. Well, this was too much. think I'll leave the back like this because I do have some bones and stuff in there. And like I said, I don't mind leaving it a little bit rough. Not as rough as my hand were. I had such dry hands during this shoot because the weather had been like, can you see? I hate this part. Yeah, the weather before shooting this had been like good, bad, good, bad, good, bad, and that kind of messes up my hands, the skin on my hands. Oof, it's kind of looking rough. What's going on? So I'm doing just kind of fast-paced editing with just the clone brush, and that's obviously not as specific as using the frequency separation technique that I've been showing you on the other photos. But it's also nice to show you this and you can see the difference and see if you spot the difference. I try to not, when I know I'm gonna edit a little bit more, I use frequencies. Why do I do this? Why do I keep doing this? What was I saying? When I know I'm gonna edit a photo a little bit more, I just go straight into using frequency separation because I know that's way less, like it's just cleaner to do it like that. And sometimes if I'm just doing super fast editing, I just use the clone tool, and I'm curious if you notice the difference, because now you might if you've been watching here. So let's do it a little bit like that, and then I kind of just wanna feel the eyebrows a little bit better, but they are probably too high up here. Is that better? What do we say? Ever so slightly. Yeah, I think it's, I mean, this is nothing special. This photo is just me, but it's nice to keep it in there as well. Whoop-a-la, this was a lot. So what about this? Yeah, I think this is nice. Something I like to do because I really love good collarbones. I know that's such a weird thing to say, but I appreciate bones. I appreciate good bone structure and good, like, definement, the good defining of said bones. So I'm gonna define my shoulder a little bit better, and maybe ever so slightly my back as well. And you can just play around with using highlights and shadows. Nope. Just be mindful of if the if it has and this is just something you start looking at once you start thinking about these things, is how does the light hit, like how does the shadow flare or like wrap around, especially like the difference between this photo here is where the shadows are very stark and very contrasted, and just here, and it's basically in the same, it's from the same light source, but here one is like, this one is in direct light and this one is not. This is kind of backlit and with like the sky as a giant softbox. And the same goes for this photo, because the sun was down, and so it's just super soft and super like coming from above, because you can see, this hand is facing, and you can see like all the light is coming from kind of above, but it's still kind of wrapping. I'm so sorry. Still kind of wrapping around. So anything that's facing down, like underneath my chin, underneath the hand here, anything facing down is kind of in this soft shadow, but at the same time it's not flat. So here you can see all the light is coming from above, which would make sense. Like if I were to make my shoulders super defined, I would just add a little bit more shadow here, and you can see like, ooh, she's a shouldery girl. Oh, that's so stupid. And the same, like the way I'm standing is obviously I'm arching my back a little bit in, so that's why the light is hitting the top of my back here, and then fading, kind of slowly fading down here and giving this definition, instead of, it might have been the other way around if I were not arching but doing like a turtle. Words are difficult today. Sometimes, like in this photo, I feel like I'm very sad. So what you can do, and you can overdo this and it can look really strange and stupid, but what you can do, there is even a thing for this called smile, and this is terrifying. This is terrible. So we're not gonna use smile, however, I'm ever so slightly gonna do like this, and maybe this is weird, maybe this is super weird. Wait, what happened here? Oh yeah, and it's nice to do it on a layer that is not. So here we go. Is this making us happier? I sure diddly do think so. Just take this part down a little bit as well here, and just, it's so strange what just the smallest changes can do for your face, and even to just make you unrecognizable in photos. I think so. I think this is indeed way better. Yeah. So I think that's gonna be it for tonight. It was so nice just sitting down and chilling. And if you haven't seen the other video, it's linked down below. Otherwise, I really hope you have a nice evening, and thank you so much for being here with me. Until the next one, bye!